In the 90s, when I was coming up, the world was just a more simple place. There were big cars and there were little cars. There were black people and there were white people and there were Asian people. And the world just kind of got along easier. It was a better transition. And men were men, women were women. Now stop the show. Of course, we had gay people at that time. And we had gay people who identified themselves as men or women. And we understood that men who were not born as men could never be women, and women who were born as women could never be men. But then 2023 came, and then the whole world became more confusing. There's pronouns now, she or he. There are trans women, there are cis women, and there's a debate on who is a woman and who is a man and who is not a man and who is a woman. The world just seems to be more confused. And to those people who are participating in this lifestyle, they may even feel themselves that they are really the gender that they were not born in. You may see a man who is considering himself a transgender woman, and somebody else may not consider him a woman or her a woman, but that person considers themselves a woman and not a man. Although you may consider them to be a man, but she considers herself a woman, although you consider that person to be a man. You see how confusing this is? But so there's the issue. Fast forward, Dima. So now we're seeing situations where people are presenting themselves to be a woman where somebody else doesn't believe that they are a woman. For an example, there's the case in Detroit of Pastor Albert Weathers, who was dealing with prostitutes in Detroit. And one of the prostitutes considered themselves to be a transgender woman. That lady was named Kelly Stuff. But what happened was Albert Weathers killed this person. Now, we don't know if he killed Kelly because Kelly lied about the sexuality or the gender. We don't know. But it was considered a hate crime, and gender was motivated. And this is what Kelly Stuff's mother said about Albert Weathers at his sentencing.
Weathers shot her and left her in the street, discarded like trash. She had the courage to withstand it all and live her truth, her way, with no excuses or regrets. Unlike yourself, Weathers, you murdered my child to try and hide your shame and fear of who you really are.
And then there's the unfortunate case of Isamemen Itute. He had a full scholarship to play football at Virginia Tech. He met somebody on Tinder and they hooked up. And he went to the apartment and put the clapping sounds. Something happened. He went back to the apartment only to discover this.
Prosecutors say Itute told police he matched with someone called Angie on Tinder on April 10th. The two met up and Angie performed a sexual act on Itute. Prosecutors then say on May 31st, the two met at Angie's apartment. And that's when Itute discovered Angie was not a woman, but the victim, 40-year-old Jerry Smith.
And in that discovery, this young man ended up killing Jerry Smith, who didn't disclose the fact that, Jerry Smith was a man pretending to be a woman, although sexually engaging in contact with this young man. Fast forward, Dima. Recently, there's a case of this transsexual OnlyFans model. The OnlyFans model is Maya Claire, and this is what the OnlyFans model said the other day.
The front desk person at my hotel is outside my door right now. He's fine as bro. I bet y'all I could get him in here. I don't think he knows. What's up? Thank you. What's up with you, little daddy? You trying to come in here? You fine as for real? Yeah. I bet home. Can I record?
Sure. So this is an individual who's saying clearly, this guy doesn't know that I am a transgender. I'm going to engage in sexual acts with this person because I can. And this is the problem we're dealing with today. It's not that people have a problem with these individuals participating in a transgender or transsexual lifestyle. I believe what the issue could be, and at least in most of these cases, is that they are not disclosing to the other person who may not be okay with the fact that they are transgender. But this is the case of Damarean Kaylon Bible, who was hanging out in Minnesota. And while he was standing outside, Savannah Ryan Williams walked by him and asked if he wanted to have sex. Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? So stop the show. Bruh, what person just walks up to you and randomly asks you if you want to have sex? It doesn't even make any sense. Well, they went around the corner and engaged in booty clapping sounds. Now, Bible was sitting there and he was receiving some oral pleasure from Williams, but she was making him feel suspicious, as he said. Now, after the act was completed, Williams continued to make him feel suspicious. So he, gunshot Zima! He shot the victim, Savannah Ryan Williams. I just have some questions. Number one, if you felt it was suspicious, then why didn't you get up and walk away? You continued to sit there and enjoy it while feeling suspicious. But in any case, he shot her, as he says here in this article. And I want to deal with something because I don't know why the young man had a gun, but people are outraged in the transgender community. And the question that I want to know is, did he know that this person was born a man and decided to transition into a woman? And I think because we live in a society now where you have people in the transgender community who consider themselves trans women, maybe feel like they don't have a right to tell a person who might not be okay with how they're living their lifestyle the truth about their situation. The reality is this: while people in the transgender community and those who support it can be okay with using the term trans woman, transgender woman, there are many people who feel different about that. And if they find out that they are having sex with the person that was born a different gender, that shame can really trouble them. They would feel bad about it. They could feel bad about it. What if that information gets out? And we've heard of several things where, a transgender can go out and say that, hey, I slept with this person is gay. And that person may not have known what was going on. So because of the shame and the guilt that they have, things like this can occur. But I still want to know, do people feel like they need to disclose what's going on with them? And it's a tough argument for a lot of people that are concerning the subject. But what I would say is this: if someone were to come up to you randomly and do that, it's probably an offer that you should not engage in. But also, you got to look at it from this perspective. People need to disclose the things that are going on with them, because just because you feel like it's okay, it may not be okay for others. But in this young man's situation, I don't know why you even had a gun in the first place, but you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. And that was still a stupid decision. I can't tell anybody how to feel. And I know that the person should have told him what was going on. But again, guys, you got to understand, when you're going on dates on Tinder with people, maybe what you need to ask them is, if it's bothering you, were you born a man? Were you born a woman? And let them answer truthfully. And if they were not, then you can leave them alone. You should probably ask everybody, just if you have a real issue with it. And people that are on the opposite side, everybody's not going to respond the same way you think, because you feel like you're a real woman or a real man, and you're dealing with somebody who doesn't feel that way. Yeah, they're probably going to have a big issue with it. And yes, things like this can happen. And of course, when they happen, they're considered hate crimes. And I understand why people on the other opposite side would consider that. But if you can consider the fact that the person has the right to also know what they're dealing with, and they have the right to say no. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Scratch the bell. We're out.